I came across a little free test on learningmind.com that breaks down different types of introverts, and I thought it was really helpful. The stereotype of introverts is that they don't like socialising and would much rather be at home. While this is true for me most of the time, my ENFP mum has said that she gets times when she doesn't want to socialise, and my ENTJ partner tends to get a lot more introverted when he gets home from work, so it can't just be black and white, introvert or extrovert. The whole notion of being introverted, I have found, tends to be thought of as a negative thing. People who don't understand seem to think that you don't enjoy socialising, you are boring, no fun, you just stay at home watching movies or reading all day, you have no friends, you get the picture. And it can almost come across like it's an issue that introverts need to fix, but if they just learn to step outside of their comfort zone, get dressed, go out and talk to someone, they will become a more well-rounded, happier person. Because introverted can sometimes be synonymous with depressed in some people's heads, I understand that for overly extroverted people out there, a day spent home alone is a form of torture, but to us introverts it is enjoyable, beneficial, and needed at times. This is why I like the test, because it shows that introversion is not just one-dimensional. It has several parts to it, and they are not all negative. The test breaks introversion into 4 categories: social, thinking, anxious, and restrained, and you get a mark out of 50 for each one, with the average being around 30. Having high social introversion means having low enthusiasm towards socialising and meeting new people, which fits in with what most people think of when they hear the word introvert. High thinking introversion is about having a high intellect and imagination, which focuses more on how introverts are thought to have a rich inner world, and thus may be more intelligent or imaginative than extroverts. This is not a stereotype of introverts, because many extroverts can score high on this as well. I think it's down to whether you work on yourself and enjoy thinking and processing things alone, as to whether you will score high here or not. High anxious introversion is a blend of high neuroticism and low assertiveness, so feeling uncomfortable and shy in new situations and not having much self-confidence. It is nice to see how this is a separate part of introversion, because you don't have to be anxious about meeting new people to prefer staying at home. This is probably the most beneficial part for me, to see that it is separate from social introversion. Yes, the two often do go hand in hand, but they aren't the same thing, and I think it's important for people to realise that. And finally, high restrained introversion is described as having low sensation seeking, low excitement seeking, and low activity. This one is a bit more stereotypical of introversion, but it does require a deeper understanding that introverts don't need more stimulation from the outside world like extroverts do. They actually need less stimulation, which is why they seek out quieter environments, because they tend to get overstimulated quite quickly and thus have to resort somewhere quieter to reduce that. It is nice to see that you could have a high score in some areas and a low score in others. So an extrovert could have high thinking introversion but low restrained introversion, which would explain their extroverted tendencies. Obviously, being an NI dominant means I am very introverted, so it's no surprise I scored high on all 4 categories. But I think it would be interesting to get a study of different personality types and how they score in each area, to see if all introverted types will score high in all the categories, or whether there will be more of a mix. I'll leave a link below if you want to take the test yourself to see what you come up with. As with all tests, it is important not to base all the answers simply on your current state of mind, as the results will be very different based on whether you are feeling optimistic or pessimistic, whether you'd had a good night's sleep, or whether you have a lot of stress in your life at the moment. So try to base it on your general feelings, how you normally react and feel about certain things. I'm sure most of us have become more introverted out of necessity due to the current events, so it is important not to let that impact your answers, as it doesn't give a true, rounded perspective of you. I hope this was interesting. I like sharing useful things I have found, and this test helped me to understand how I am introverted as well. We know that no one theory will completely explain our personalities, so I think it's useful to keep adding different theories to help understand as much as we possibly can. Feel free to share your results in the comments if you'd like to. As I said, I would love to collate different personality types and their scores to see if there is a relationship at all. Maybe I should do a video on introvert stereotypes as well, as I feel like there are lots of them, and most people don't have a very good idea of who introverts actually are and what we need. They just think we're not as fun. So I think it's important to share that we actually do need time to ourselves. It's an important necessity for us, just like it's just as important for extroverts to get out of the house and go and see people. But anyway, as always, thank you for your time.